Top of the morning to you guys, John with you, and it's Monday. It's bum time. It's bum day, Monday day. Anyway, let's without any more ado, let's get stuck into what we've got doing. Or we've got to do, should I say? To do. Anyway, lads, we'll start off with what I've got finished. As if you've been watching, keeping up to date, I did my say cheese group build. Finished it all off, and I did my dio for it. Now the dio unfortunately has been eaten and my cheese and wine and crackers have been utilised, shall we say. So all that's left of that now is we're back in here with the little Panzer 3. It was a lovely kit. It was an enjoyable kit to build. I couldn't fault it. I to be honest with you, I couldn't fault it really. Yeah, loads of tiny little fiddly parts, loads of little things like that, but that is basically what it is. It's a dragon kit. They're like that. That's what they are. Will I do one again? I don't know. I kind of found the tediousness of it kind of sapped a bit of the fun for me, but still, I still enjoyed it. If you can get what I'm trying to say. Like I said, I can see the point of dragon kits. It's for the people that enjoy all that little intense work, love the accuracy of it, that level of detail. Yeah, it's well worth it. It really, really is, and you do end up with a lovely, lovely kit. But I don't know. For me, personally, I still prefer the older or the cheaper kits. I like the ones where you've got to you gotta work at. You gotta put your own bit of thinking into getting it right, if you know what I mean. Some of the older kits, well, not the Tamiya kits. The Tamiya kits fall together, but some of the old Sage of Vesta kits, the Italieri kits, and things like that. Some of them are. It's just a case of you have to cut bits away for them to get them to fit and things like that. Two-piece molded barrels, all that kind of thing. But like I said, everyone to each his own, isn't that it? To each his own. And for me, I prefer the cheaper kits for two reasons. One, obviously, I can't afford the dearer kits, and two, personally, I seem to enjoy them a bit more. Anyway, we'll put it aside altogether, and we move on to the next thing. And the next thing is one of those cheap Tamiya kits that I've been working on. Yeah, I've been working on the Walker M41 Walker Bulldog. I started it there on Friday, I think it was. And let's slide this in. This is me dirty up, my old mat, which I use for painting and everything I know at this point in time. It's getting quite a use. As you can see from that, it's got its base painting done with the pre-shading underneath that, and it looks quite nice. I'm quite happy with the colours and things like that. The reason this is all kind of patchy looking is because it is all patchy looking, and the reason for that is that's just the base colours. That's the exhaust pipes here at the back, and that's the base colours for starting the rust. This has got to be clear coated, and then the decals put on, and you know yourself, if you go putting on pigments and things like that, they're not going to be right. So there's a right time to do it, shall we say. So that's that there. The detail painting is done on it, and because it's separated, I haven't bothered putting in any clear pieces in here. Kit didn't come with any clear pieces, but I have clear pieces that I can fit into it. If I didn't have clear pieces to put into it, it's literally a case of they're tiny. Any bit of see-through plastic will work. Will do the job in there. You just cut one to size, simple as that, and that'll do the jobby on that. Thing I did like about this kit is that it was just so nice, and the pieces that are supposed to work with no major problems whatsoever. Like there's like I said, there's the deck, we call it the deck, the good old nautical term there for a tank. There's the our turret. Barrel elevates and go up and down. The hatch opens and closes. Now, here's a question I want to ask people. I'm just too lazy to do the research myself, but I'm trying to get photographs. This hatch, to me, that should kind of stop at that, if you know what I mean. Stop in the kind of the half up position. I might be wrong, because it seems to fly back the whole way. With this tank, does it go back the whole way, or was there a stop to do it, put in there? Because if there was, now is the time for me to do it before I start, clear coating and weathering. In other words, if I got to glue in a stop there, I can get that back to that looking again, and like that. Whereas if I go try to add that later on, you're going to see it as a, it's just going to stick out. You know what I mean? Also, the internal colour for this, I'm thinking it should be just a light green, but for some reason I have it in the back of my head, would the inside of that be white? I don't think it would be white. I think it would be the dark green or even black. But it's just one of those little things. It's just a quick little research job, but I haven't looked at it up yet, shall we say? Right, we get down to the lower hull and the tub. There's those tracks. No, they're base coated, ready for the next stage, the weathering stage. What did I use? I used Tamiya black, Tamiya flat NATO black. Gave him the base coat in that, and then a light dusting coat, shall we say. Easiest way to put that is real quick coat of hull red. Let them dry in, and there you go. That's the base colours now for my tracks. We've got the driver. If that will zoom into the driver there, we have the driver in situ. There's a bit of a shine, but they've just been base coated. He hasn't had his weathering and shading and all that done to his face yet. So he's ready for that. And finally, for the tank itself, we've got the little 50 cal for there. Like I said, I had to adapt the handle, do a little job on that, cut off and carved out and restuck back on again. But I ended up, I'll tell you, it does the job. It's quite nice, and I'm happy as a pig in shite with that. Figures. There's the tank commander figure. He looks quite happy. Like I said, these figures, they have got to get their shading, dark and light, and a bit of tone to the faces and things. That's the next step for these guys. There's our chap with the radio. He's got an M16 in his hand, and he's got the radio on his back. And the type of radio that is an ANPRC 77 set. Yeah. You get to use my knowledge in that one, because we used to use the exact same radios. And if you can see in there, I have the radio. I have to give him the radio an aerial, which it didn't come with, and I'm after wiring in that the handset, joined up the handset to his thing there. So hopefully that will kind of settle down and you get a nice little view of him. And he turned out quite nice. I've got the tricolour camouflage on the helmet, which is very, very subtle. And if you actually look at them, the helmets, it is very, very subtle. You wouldn't really notice it and came right up to it that it's actually slightly camouflaged. So that's the radio man. Here's our second chap. He's just sitting down, be it sitting on a log or whatever. Nicely moulded figures, I must admit. For 1980 Tamiya figures, these are absolutely fabulous. Excuse me. I must thank Joe again for these figures. They are absolutely brilliant. They're lovely. They're really nice. And here's our coloured chap. And he's sitting there holding the M60. The only problem I had with these figures, believe it or not, was when I was taking off the M16s, the carrying handle on the top broke on two of them. perfect, and it was out of the three M16s. I got one that was absolutely perfect. The other two had the handles broken off them. So this chap unfortunately ended up at an M60. He's big enough and ugly enough anyway to carry it, so that's usually the way it went. The biggest guy in the platoon got stuck with the 60, or the GPMG in our case. We used to use the FNGPMG 7.62 belt-fed machine gun at a weight of 26 pounds empty weight, which is quite heavy, and that's just even without the ammunition. Stick the ammunition with that then, but he would carry maybe 2-3 belts. The second person with him, the LA2, would carry maybe 2 boxes of ammunition, and each guy in the platoon would probably carry 2 belts. They'd have them either in their pack or just dangling off them, because everybody kind of carries the spare ammunition for this thing. It's the way they work. So as you can see, that's definitely a WIP, work in progress. Getting there, nearly finished. And so far I am chuffed to bits with how it's coming together. I got to get a drill bit today because unfortunately my tiny little drill bit broke. It's a 0.5 drill bit, and I want to drill out the aerial mounts for that, and I want to see can I drill out the bar in the 50 cal. Just even say put a tiny little kind of starter hole in the top of that, just so it looks hollow, you know. You don't have to drill it out the whole way down. Just a kind of a half a millimeter on the top of that, just to give it that impression that it's a hollow barrel. So that's that. Also, I know, yeah, there is an also. Also, what I've been working on is I'm thinking of entering a competition. Yeah, John's going to enter a competition. It's only a Mickey Mouse local competition that the Gathering, which is my local hobby shop, they hold it once a year, and it's the whole thing is really designed towards gamers, and it's a gaming convention. But the shop does sell a few models, so they have a modelling section and competition within that whole thing, which is only, say, a very, very small part of what they call a modelling, a convention or whatever, a gaming convention where they've got board games and role-playing games and these whatever else these weirdos get up to. It's on at that convention, but a little side part to that convention, probably in a tiny little room shoved at the very, very far end of it, there'll be about 3 or 4 guys with our little plastic models trying to get into a competition. I don't know, I've never been out there, so it might be like that, or it might go out, it might be about 30 or 40 entries, and the standards might go out with my 2 kits and go, oh, they're too good for me, and out the door. But anyway, what I'm bringing to that is I'm bringing the Iraqi T55s, you know, the one I did with the burnt out destroyed look, and I'm also bringing this, which is me Tiger, which I'm working on getting it, just finishing it off, little bits and pieces. A couple of little techniques that I learned since I did this. Cleaned it off and stuff, and I just love this kit. I really, really do. I'm working on the rust at the back of it now at the moment on those exhausts. I have a nice rough texture and things, so I just want to get the colours right on that. I know it shows up very, very orange there on the camera, because if you can even see, my hands look very, very orange, but it's not. It is too bright, but not as bright as it appears on the video, I must say. So I'm bringing that as well. So I'm gonna have to do a little kind of a vignette base for that. Just something small, just so it's kind of, say, either, you know, just a little plinth more than a you know, the A4 size base. If I can get it even just the size of that, I'd be happy as a pig in shite with that. Simon is sending me on actually a nice polished up board with nice lovely chamfered edges on it, and I might do a bit of, you know, clay in the centre, so just do a little kind of a display for that alone. So thanks, Mr. Kempy is sending me on that, so I'm quite chuffed with how I'm chuffed to bits with how everything is going, to be honest with you. everything seems to be working out quite well. No, so that's basically what I've done, what I'm up to, and shall we say the state of the nation, the modelling nation, John's little kingdom, and that's basically it. So what have I left? Oh yes, B.U.M chocolate. I must ask Mr. Kemp to look away now because unfortunately he's diabetes. Anybody else with diabetes, here's your warning. Please look away now because we're going to show some intense chocolate. This week's chocolate of choice is, ta-da, there we go. It's smooth, delicious Turkish delight that just melts in your mouth. According to that, that's what they say anyway. And it's a fine, oh, there's some weight in that. Look, a 200-gram bar of nice, smooth chocolate and Turkish delight. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. That's my chocolate of the week. Okay, lads. So, what else is left? I think that's just about it. Yep, nothing more to add, show, do, whatever. So we'll leave it at that, lads. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. Please give it a like. I do like the likes. You know, hit the old thumbs up button or thumbs down. That's your own prerogative. It's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do, although I am telling you that if you know, leave something. You know, just when you finish looking at the videos, down to the bottom of the video, you don't have to leave a comment if you don't want to leave a comment. But there's a little sort of, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down type thing. You know, give a little indication as to, you know, whether you like it or not. Something as simple as that. You don't have to actually go, no, John, nice, thanks. You know what I mean? I do like the comments, I love the comments, and I answer them. But if you don't feel like leaving a comment or anything like that, just leave the old thumbs up or the thumbs down, like I said. So lads, I'll leave it at that. Thank you very, very much for taking the time out to watch this video and all previous videos. I do appreciate it. And I'll catch you up in the next one, lads. And don't forget the old saying, just go out and buy a kit, build it and enjoy it. I'll see you in the next one, lads. Stay safe.